Boom, baby. MultiVersus. So I'm addicted, guys. Like, I'm straight up addicted to this game. I've been playing this game. I love this game. I've been playing it like 10 hours per day for like the last few days, guys. Like seriously. So hello, I'm on here talking about MultiVersus fighting games, right? This game is so good. Like seriously. Like, if I knew it was this good, I would have bought it earlier with the founder package. So I'm just very close to beating Test of Arise. This game drops, and I've been playing it now, like I said, like probably at least 5 to 10 hours every day for like since the game. So I'm really into MultiVersus right now, and I want to make an accurate tier list, right? Because you know I play a lot of fighting games, right? And I see this tier list that people are popping up, you know, again or whatever, right? And I say immediately to be as nice as I can, right? They're filthy casuals. No, but seriously, right? Because I think one issue immediately is that when I see on this tier list. Some people do, especially these bigger sites. They think it from like, oh, but like Bugs Bunny is hard to play, right? So he's like bad or whatever. But I can say immediately, yeah, Bugs Bunny is the best character in this game, like insanely OP. So when I look at this tier yesterday, I was like, why do they have Bugs Bunny in like C tier? That's crazy, man. Bugs Bunny is like super S tier. And usually what I read then, right, is people saying that, oh, but he's too hard to play. But that's completely irrelevant, right? If you make a normal tier list. Like, if you make a tier list to say, you know, easy to play, hard to play, that's one thing, right? But we are making a tier list here of, like, you know, what character is good or not, right? You know what I mean? What character is good. We can't look at, say, this character is too hard to play or something. No. We ignore that, right? If a character is the best, but it's the hardest to play, that's irrelevant, right? The only thing that's relevant is the character good or not, right? So Bugs Bunny is by far the best character. So I said immediately. Oh, shit. There my game crashed there. I had a game. I had a game on during this thing, and then a game. I got logged out from the game. Yeah, I was like AFK, right? You know, I was AFK too long, so it flashed me out there. Okay, nice. Okay. Anyway, before we start the tier list, I'll say one thing before here. Obviously, Bugs Bunny is the best character. So I'll say a bit for here, right? One thing I really love with this game, and I'll say here, you know, again, this game is so good because every character is so unique. I'll definitely make another video about this later, but not to be obtuse, but this feels like a game that I could have designed it. Like, because like every character is loony, you know. Every character, I love this so much because every character plays like I expect them to play. You know, like Bugs Bunny can make teleporting tunnels, and the safe can fly around, and Tom and Jerry are one character, two characters, and so on, right? You know, it plays like I wanted to play it. The ball with Lebron James and different kind of things and so on. Like, so it's so fast to play this game, right? I really love the diversity of the characters and so on. So I really love it from like a game design standpoint. Not a game for that man, I thought a lot, saying here Suicide Squad, right? I just talked actually to the design director of this game, so and I was sitting here. If you haven't seen this thing, really check out the Harley Quinn TV show. Oh my god, it's so good. It's my favorite actually. Disney comic stuff. Seriously, with Kelly Cuckoo, that's a Big Bang Theory. But anyways, I've worked on Disney Infinity 3. And this game, the obviously different genres, right? That game is like a platform action game. But not to say too much here, because work for Disney was pretty good. Disney gave me like a house to live in, pay my rent and so on. So this was nice, okay. It was actually a nice job with Disney. But, you know, that game is okay, right? But every character is kind of similar. Like this game, honestly, I really love MultiVersus so much. Is because it feels like every character is their own game, right? It's just a huge difference playing like Steven Universe versus something like... I don't know, Bugs Bunny and whatever, or Superman, whatever. It's like their own characters. So I really love that. I really love that. But anyway, let's go in and actually talk about the tier list. And the game logged me out again. Whatever, I just turn off the game then. The game keeps like... I keep getting like, I guess, AFKing. I'm just gonna turn off the gamer. The game keeps logging me out. Because I was on MultiVersus, right? And then the game keeps like logging me out something. But here we go. Let's get the tier list up. Bam. Yeah, the game kept looking me like AFKing something. But anyway, so Bugs Bunny then, he's like super A tier, super S tier, immediately the best character in the game, right? So I'm gonna go down and get the key characters. Bugs, he's the highest, he's the only one I put in Bugs Bunny tier. So let's play this briefly, right? I have played a lot of fighting games over the years, right? You know, tremendous amount of fighting games, and I specialize in control characters, right? So if you don't know, I'm not the best player in the world or whatever, but I'm very high ranked as Axel Low, right, in Guilty Gear Strive. Like, probably the highest right in the country. I've been like Guardian rank, Angel rank, whatever, so on. And I've been playing Axel Low for I don't know, 20 years, right? And Testament as well. But for example, I specialize in this, like, projectile, zoner characters, right? So Bugs Bunny is a character I want to play immediately anyway, because Bugs Bunny fits my playstyle, right? Being like a ranged character and so on. But the thing is that, I think this morning, and Bugs Bunny is absurdly the best character in the game. And the reason why I think is that he has all these tools, right? Of like kiting, projectile, you can zone them and so on. But what the character in this game lacks though, is that if you compare this fighting game to like Guilty Gear, Dragon Fights or whatever, right? The other character can get to you, right? The other character can close the distance between you very, very easily, right? So that Superman was 10 times faster, right, when he's flying. That would be like Blast Blue or something right there. If he was like, and he's at your place, right? Then that would be like how those game fights, right? So Bugs Bunny, he plays like one of these typical, V3, certain, whatever, right? Some of these control characters, but there's no opponent, there's no enemy that is as fast as anyone is in the other fighting games. So you can basically stand over there, right, and be quite, like, oh, who's gonna stop me, Who's actually gonna hurt me, right? That's kind of is the amazing with any character, really. So what I'm talking about here is the window, right, basically. The window to be safe, right? Because if you play a lot of fighting games, when you play a control character, especially if you have summons, right? You play a summoning character, the window of knowing when can I summon my stuff and he can't punish me, right? That is the greatest skill usually to really master it. When can I get that extra outing? Or when can I gain one resource? So for example, Dormammu in Master 3, when can I do this like power up? He can do this thing with his hands so he gets power up to 3 times. So you have to have a window, when can I do like, power, right? So I get one more power and bam, 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 and then I can do my summonings, right? Like, when can I do that? After a combo finisher? Can I do it in the air? You need to learn when to actually get your powers up, right? With many characters. But in this game, it's very hard, basically, to punish characters, right? Because no one is as fast. So the same is like Steven Universe, same with Raindog and so on. The character that can summon stuff in this game, or shoot stuff, are hard to punish, right? But then you have a character, Bugs Bunny, that's actually also really good at it, right? Because, let me say it here, Steven Universe is a very low-tier character. I want to love Steven Universe because I love the show, but he's very, very bad in the game. So just because you can summon stuff and do it very safe in this game, because the window is very, very large in this game, doesn't mean you have to be a good character, right? But because Bugs Bunny has this massive window, and he's incredibly lethal with massive window, he's the best character. Because you basically, it's so hard to punish him. And when I played Bugs Bunny with my friend last Saturday, we won like 30 games in a row. There's no rank yet, right? But we won like every game. Like, no one can touch me in Bugs Bunny. He tags for me, I can stop forever, right? And as I mentioned earlier in your video, some people low rank Bugs Bunny, right? At this big size or whatever. That's because he's hard to play, honestly. Because Bugs Bunny is also probably the hardest character to play in the game. Because you have to really understand how to like make the tunnels and then like teleport you safe around it, throw your pie into a tunnel so it flies out again and levitate and so on. Throws the missile rocketing into the tunnel and so on. And there's a lot of cooldowns, so you have to manage all the cooldowns and so on. So he's definitely, I think that he's honestly the hardest character to play and the best character to play. So he's both of that. Which honestly I think makes it fun, right? Because you're playing him, it's not very easy to play him, right? So you feel kind of rewarded that you're playing. But he is OP. I think he should get nerfed. But it definitely feels like, yeah, I'm playing a character here. It's very, very powerful and it's hard to play him. It's not that. I mean, in some games, right, you can play the best character and it's easy to play them, right? But Bugs Bunny is definitely hard to play. But the best thing, arguably, with him in 2 is 2. I'm most thinking from a team fight here. It's all hard to kill, right? Because you can dig down, you can run around and so on. So it's very, very easy to kind of kite them around for everything. But anyway, yeah, Bugs Bunny I talk about for hours, but he's, in my opinion, then the best character, right? Yeah, the best character in the game, easily. And I can take Steve Universe immediately. He's almost like trashed here, but I can put him in B first then. So I wanna love Steve Universe because I think he's a cool character. You got the cool combos and you can be shit on. But I look at it mostly from a multiplayer standpoint, right? And Steven Universe, I played him like maybe 10 hours yesterday. I almost only played Steven Universe yesterday. And so I got to like rank 11, 12, whatever, right? And the thing is that he's good in the right teams. So I was thinking, one thing I like in this game, I feel that every character is like playable in a 2v2 setting, but you have to have the right team, right? So if my ally is like Superman, then Universe is very powerful because he can heal people. He's very tanky himself. He's like tanky healer, right? He's like a paladin kind of character. So if you play with another tank, it's very hard to kill the tank, right? Superman is the hardest character to kill, I would say. So you combine those two characters, it's really annoying. Garnet, Steven Universe, fitting in love for a good combo, so on, right? So in those teams, Steven Universe is good. But his shields and barriers, especially Bugs Bunny, is really annoying for Bugs, right? And for Tom and Jerry and so on. So he's like a disadvantage to have him in the... If your team has projectiles, because he makes platforms, then there's like a weakness for your team, yeah. He makes your team like worse if you have like Bugs Bunny or whatever. It's perfectly played perhaps, right? But it's not very good. And he basically, I think mostly is really good with other tanks, right? So he's probably arguably the weakest character in the game. The thing is that you can play other support character and do more stuff anyway. But yeah, I thought him at the bottom. He's probably the worst character in the game. He's either arguably trashed here. But like I said, I feel he's almost like here, but it's because in the correct team, he might be playable. But I really tried, and I'm sure I've won most games yesterday with him anyway, but I feel like I really had to struggle to do stuff, you know. And his bubble ability, so if you get 10 stacks, they get bubbled. And that's like, it's basically like a stun, right? You can't really hurt them and they kind of fly away, so you can hit the other guy. That's again, Superman and him is the best combo, because if Superman, I think they get my super shoot, but see, the Superman still is really good, because when they get bubbled, Superman can grab them when the bubble ends, and they can push them out, right? And when they get bubbled, the other guy is 2 against 1, then Superman can grab him. So Superman and Steven Universe is by far the best combo out of Steven Universe. I tried every combo with him, and Superman is really good with him. And every other character is basically like, but that combo is powerful. Taz is also very low tier though. Taz, since they removed the stun nerf thing, he's now like the weakest bruiser. He feels pretty bad too. So you started, honestly I probably would put Steven Universe over Taz though. I guess we kind of stop with that things. Okay. Starting in the easy pick. So Harley Quinn, she's a cool character. Love her show, right? She's S tier, probably the best damage dealer in the game. So especially if you look from a one-for-one standpoint, she's very, very like smash, so to speak. So the thing is that a lot of people kind of run around and so on. But if you play this game in like, you know, high level kind of a typical Smash player, right? And I actually know the best player in Sweden, Smash one. We used to study together. We used to play Maddox with something. We used to play like Maddox together in team and so on. But anyway, so he played Smash for this guy, right? And you know, if you play Harley as typical like Smash Pro player, you dive around, you do things and so on. She's very, very good at basically being a Smash character, right? You know, like by net something, yeah. Very quick, long combos, easy to enter, easy to engage, easy to leave and so on. Her B4, where she shoots behind them, is extremely good to dodge stuff with, right? They kind of punish them. She feels very much like an actual fighting game character, right? Like if they win, you can punish that. If they go at you, you can kind of go around them, right? You can kind of jump over them. Captain America, Second 3, and so on. Yeah, like she feels like just a really good character to actually, you know, play the game. I mean, like if you play like a normal fighting game, yeah, she feels like really good in that sense. And her B down, where she puts this like balloon trap, is good for damage. They can trick them and so on to corner. So yeah, I would put Harley Quinn as probably the best damage dealer in the game, like a straight up fighter. And then Arya Stark is similar, Stark, so yeah, and she's like a worse Harley Quinn. But you know, she's similar, right? They're both assassin, they can do good combos, and likewise, I think for a lot of people that I play against, that are good Smash players, right? That they're actually good at playing Fox or whatever, yeah, that they're actually playing the Smash game. They're very good with her, right? They can do combos, they punish you in the corner and so on. So they both kind of feel after that like they're actually good at combos. And Finn, likewise, I would say but I think it's better than her. It's probably like here somewhere. This is probably how I put it. Yeah, I think they are very similar characters. They feel almost the same role. Very good at I think Finn is very good at normals, right? Very good at finishing you with low damage at the corner and so on. So these are both very good. Actually, like, they can kill you even if you have almost no damage, right? They're very good at that. But Harley Quinn is better at it. She's just better. She's like, I read someone commenting on Reddit saying that Harley Quinn is like this, but you got projectiles. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, like they're very, very similar, but Harley Quinn can do more stuff, you know, she can dodge better, and she can shoot stuff, and she can burn you on fire. It feels very, very similar, but she's better at it, yeah, it's a better version of it. And Finn has this, I don't know what it's called, but when he buys the electric thing, right, for 1,000 gold, that's almost like a guaranteed kill, right, if you play, if you have like a long fight, right. So it's slightly better. Okay, let's take now then. I guess Rick and Morty, we ignore them, right? They are announced, but they're not in play yet. Garnet, somewhere in C tier. She's very, very slow. You really feel like a tank when you play Garnet. She's a bruiser, I think, in the game, but she feels much more tanky. Because she's so slow, right? You play her, and her move speed is very, very slow. She has arguably the best normals in the game. So normals is kind of the normal, the basic attacks, right? They're very, very powerful, or easy to use at least, like her down normal, right? You short hold ground, earthquake thing. That's very powerful. And her, was it neutral normal? Just this thing in the sky. That's very good too. She has pretty good normals, but she's very, very slow. And I guess it's like she feels similar to Steven, right? It's like tanky-ish, supporty-ish. Doesn't do very much damage, but she usually lives for a long time. But yeah, I'm comparing it to Superman, right? Superman is really good, I think. So she's like a weaker Superman, something like that, or Wonder Woman. But she's probably the slowest character in the game. I think so. Yeah, like she's super slow. She moves very, very slow. But anyway, Superman, he's definitely better than Garnet. So Superman is like A tier. Oh well, I see that wrong now. It says B and C tier. Oh my god, embarrassing, man. Can I do this thing? You just do this. I saw that now, whatever, doesn't matter, but whatever. You get the point. He said, yeah, A, B, C. Superman definitely better. Superman is the first cat that's sort of playing the game, right? A lot, I feel. And him and Bugs Bunny, he's probably the cat I play the second most. Obviously, because I want to sit there and flex strike with Superman. But yeah, I just want to show my Superman. I just want to sit here and be like, I just want to show my Superman shirt, right? So, I want to be here and be like, oh yeah, look at my Superman stuff, I was like, oh, Superman, I'm biased. No, but Superman is really powerful because he plays like Jigglypuff, Like, you feel like you're playing Jigglypuff in Smash, but you're really tanky. You feel like you're playing Jigglypuff, but you're a very heavy Jigglypuff. So he's super, super tanky. He has a lot of life points, so to speak, right? He has a lot of defense points, armor, and so on. You can always fly back into the 5 Superman. And so I think easily Superman is not the best character, I think, in 1-on-1 and so on, because he's just so hard to kill. Superman is like hard, he's so hard to kill, right? So I play him, Harley Quinn, and Bikes in 1-on-1, right? And he's just like, you live for so long per life, right? Yeah, he's really, really hard to end him. And the same thing, right, when you play in team battles, very rarely do I die Superman more than once at best, right? So it's usually that my ally dies 3 times, I die once if you lose a game, right? He's incredibly tanky and so hard to get him out because he always flies back, right? And he can dodge, fly, jump, and flash on. So he's incredibly good at not dying. So and that has high value, right? Because especially in team battle, because what happens sometimes is they go after you or whatever. But basically, yeah, he's the most resilient guy to not fly out, and that makes it so easier, right, for your ally to do damage, and they will follow you around or whatever. So I think he is. I think he's really, really powerful, seriously. Being the best tank, right? By far the best tank, in my opinion, by not dying. So that puts him in at least an A tier, right? To go back to the list again, yeah. That puts him in at least A tier. And he lacks damage, though, right? Superman definitely lacks damage, but I don't think he's as Harley Quinn, but he's definitely up there in A tier, I think, by the best tank in the game. By, again, being basically immortal, right? Like, incredibly hard to finish Superman. I think it's very important to think about that when you play Superman. Yeah, like, he just doesn't die, right? And especially then, if I imagine in 1-on-1, he's arguably... I still think Bugs is so OP that Bugs is best in both teams, but I would always go for he's the second best in 1 against 1, because you can't die with him. He's so important. There is some combo for him, it's interesting, like freezing combo and so on, but whatever. I guess one thing, as I mentioned, Super Universe, though, Superman equally has also he's not very team dependent, but definitely also gets better in certain teams, right? And that's, I guess, as a game name for team is Bugs Bunny, he's like amazing in every team. That's also why he's in top tier, right? Because Harley Quinn and Bugs, they're both like, any team with Harley Quinn is good. Because she's amazing, right? She's high damage, she's hard to kill and so on, she's super fast. And same with I think all the kind of the finish people, all 3 of them, the finishers are good in any team. But then Bugs is amazing always, right? Superman is good in most teams, but a certain team he makes he's about better, right? Garnet is like Steve Universe with only a few teams worse, right? Like Garnet is really bad, I would say, like Bugs and so much. You can't do much with that. You can't really defend him and so on. Which makes it weaker, right? But anyway. Velma is really powerful. She's almost like in S tier. She's like really good. She put her up here, maybe. She's a really annoying to face against. Velma feels like a character when you play her, and she's so Velma I think is interesting because they class her as support, right? But she feels more mage than any other mage. She stands there, does the like annoying speech thing, and it's super annoying to avoid, right? It kind of follows you around and so on. She has super annoying projectile. I would rate her probably as like here maybe, because she's something like that. Yeah, maybe in ST, because Velma is probably the second. Well, I said probably, but she's definitely the second best like projectile character, zone character after Bugs Bunny, and her the cop car thing, right? Like, I got you, you're on the rest order. The cop car is basically like an insta-killer, which is really powerful. Think about it, I probably put Velma in ST. With the car thing, that's like a finisher in a lot of games, yeah. Because she's definitely under Bugs Bunny, but she's really dangerous, man. Like, super annoying, and she can throw this like freeze thing on the ground too, right? The cold case thing. So you get like frozen and so on, which is annoying too, and blocks it off and so on. And then she got that finisher with the car, and yeah, like, even without the car, she's powerful. But I mean, having like an insta kill, right, in any fighting game, it's amazing, right? You can finish with the 3 again once. It's really powerful. It's really dangerously. It's almost arguably OP, right, to have that ability, generally speaking, even if you can't really use it all the time. But it's just super OP. So I put it up there probably. And she's much better than like Raindog, if you're gonna be support, right, and much better than Steven Universe. And again, also better than Tom and Jerry and so on, come to later. But she's again, the second best like zoner, right? So let's take Raindog then. Raindog is probably somewhere here. Definitely better than Garnet, but yeah, Raindog I think is just the game. He's unique for this game. He's like playable. Raindog is basically you throw stuff, right? He's a practical character, not as good as Velma, as I said, right? She's way better. You know, they're similar characters, right? They both support, they both have a lot of range abilities. But like I said, she has that car finisher, that the cop thing, that immediately is like 1 tier higher than him, immediately, right? But even without that, the thing is that her ability is better. She has like homing projectiles and so on, yeah, and more annoying stuff. But he's definitely similar. So he can throw out this crystal that shoots lasers when he stands, right? He can put people in, which is interesting. He can throw this ball that is kind of a little homing, right? A little bit flowing after you. So I think Raindog is decent to play, and you can do a lot of damage with him sometimes, depending on the matchup. So I think Raindog is actually pretty powerful, but I think he's more like, instead of being maybe team dependent, like who you're playing with, Raindog is a character I would argue is saying that he's pretty good if you play against certain teams. Yeah, like if they can't reach you, like I mentioned in the beginning, I played Bugs Bunny. If you have a fight which like they can't get to meet it easily, then Raindog can be super annoying. You can stand there and shoot stuff all the time at them and do a lot of damage, right? You can ship them down a lot. He's pretty good at zoning and so on. However, he always comes back to me, like, yeah, but if you're gonna do that, you might as well play Velma instead or use Bugs, right? So it's like, why wouldn't you play a better Predator character? Like, his thing is he can pull people back, I guess. I guess so. But if you have played Bugs Bunny, right? Bugs Bunny has the rocket, which is one of the best return to stage again. But that rocket is also really good for damage. You can also use it all the time to use damage them, right? I use the rocket constantly at the beginning, right? Just like do the damage. Where, for example, the pulling thing that Raindog has, it's not very useful in the beginning of the game. It's just like it does maybe a trick. Maybe you can trick them, but you know, it's like you can swap a little bit. But it's not very useful at the beginning, right? It's better having like an ability that can either do damage or save you. It's obviously better. So just a rescue ability is gonna be weaker, right? Unless I suppose its rescue ability is very powerful, I suppose, but it's not powerful enough, I guess. So that is accurate, man. A tier, B tier. Shag is pretty powerful, and the Shag against Superman combo is lethal, man. They got that 100, yeah, so you get the 100 damage Zoink thing. So Shag gets 100 damage, he got the next Zoink, and both him and Superman has that, like, if I have 100 damage taken, I do more damage, 10% more, and the stacks and everything. It's crazy. That team is probably the best team for Shag at least, Superman, yeah, both having the 100 plus damage thing, and they're both tanky and hard to kill and so on. It's a really good team to play. I played a lot this weekend, me, Superman, and one of my friends playing Shag then. It's very powerful. But Shag is pretty good. I think Shag is good. They got good combos, hard to kill. Definitely rated better than except Garnet, right? I think, but this is going to be accurate. But not as good, I think, as like Finn and so on. And yeah, but this seriously feels very accurate. This literally feels very, very accurate right now. Tom and Jerry, I think it's better than Raindog, but not that good. The thing is with Tom and Jerry is that they can do high damage, right? But they play as Ness. I was thinking about Ness in Smash, right? They summon the, the raided thing and so on. So left alone, they can do a lot of damage, but they're very easy to punish, and they're very weak against these fast cats, right? And the thing is, as I mentioned earlier, the window in this game is pretty large, right, compared to the other fighting games. So you're safer. So that makes them pretty powerful in that sense, because it's harder to punish them because the window is so big, and it's a large window. But they still have the most vulnerable projectile play, right? So their window is still the shortest window, or tightest window that anyone has. So you can still punish them, and for me it also comes back to but who do I rather play, right? Bugs Bunny, obviously, because I love Bugs Bunny. I'm a loony guy, or Velma and so on, right? Or even Raindog. So it's a little bit but I'd rather just play the other projectile characters instead of Tom and Jerry. We can do the same thing, but also being a lot safer, right? Especially in 1 against 1. Then Tom and Jerry is very hard to play safe with, right? In team battles, it's obviously easier then, but still, it feels like I can do the same thing with Bugs. He does less damage to Tom and Jerry, but he's much safer. I can punish more. It's also trickier to block him and so on. So it just feels like a much weaker Bugs Bunny, and they are the only 2 characters right now that are mage, I think. Yeah, but I think that she's more a mage, right? So it's like mage, yeah. But I mean, easily, if you're gonna play one mage, you're gonna play Bugs Bunny over Tom and Jerry. And I wouldn't put them in this fighting tier. Everyone 80 now is like a fighter. Yeah, it's it's very specific here. But okay. Batman is good too. Batman got a lot of tricks, man. Batman is somewhere up here. Batman is not pretty good. Maybe he's the best 80 character. So Batman has. Batman is. I have to say that I like that. I guess it fits fitting for Batman, right? He's the utility character. Yeah, utility belt guy. No, but Batman as a character feels interesting because he kind of has it going for him, where he's just he's pretty good at fighting, he's pretty good at escaping, he's pretty good at doing damage. He's very Batman, He's very he can do a little bit of everything. Yeah, he's very all round, but he seems to feel like a very good character because he has, as I mentioned, very good combos, right? Easy to the combos. He can fly around a lot, right? Hard to kill him, yeah. And he got a good kite, and then he can also do the smoke thing, and the battle rank can be tricky to avoid and so on. So he does in 1-on-1 is very powerful, yeah. But I think in team battle too, he just does a lot of stuff, right? And he feels very Batman because he's not the best in anything. He's not the best character in anything, but he's basically good in everything, yeah. So he doesn't excel at he excels at nothing, but he's he's pretty good at everything. He's pretty decent. He's very Batman. Yeah. He's very he can do a little bit of everything, right? He can do some support stuff. He can do some range stuff. He can fly around, yeah. But he's a good character. He's definitely a good character. Sometimes though, I have seen people dive at him when they do the hook thing, which is kind of funny. Yeah, if you dodge the hook thing or they hit you and you jump up, they can fly out of the screen. So I think that that's the weakness of him definitely. They would bring S tier because you can kind of get a glitchy, almost a death on that one. It's a little bit, yeah. I think Batman has the weakness, but you can abuse his hook, right? So that's probably why I would be avoiding him playing. But anyway, I think it's probably fair. He's better than them, probably. Yeah, because he got more a supportive toolkit too. He can help his team more. He can do roughly the same damage and help his team more. So Harley Quinn, I think, easily out damage Batman, or generally, kills more than Batman, but. He's roughly on the same level as these two, right? But he can also do a little other stuff, which makes him slightly better. So if it's accurate. Okay, let's go to the next thing. I think Wonder Woman is weaker than Superman, kind of tank, but just has less utility. Wonder Woman has some interesting stuff. Probably a better Steven Universe, arguably, right? Yeah, that's probably honestly pretty fair. That she feels that she's Steven Universe better at fighting, but thing is that Wonder Woman dies easier. She's very similar to Superman. I guess she's a mixture of Superman and Steve Universe, right? Yeah, but she's easier to kill, doesn't do very much damage, right? So she feels like she's somewhere here, but honestly, probably not better than Tom and Jerry. Honestly, I probably put it here. Honestly, yeah, This is the real thing. Yeah, this is definitely accurate. Okay, Lebron James is pretty good. He's probably up in 82. The slam can kill you. The ball can be really annoying. But I put no Superman. Nah, I think he's like 80. Yeah, he's like low 8 tier. Yeah, low 8 tier. He's better than these guys. He got some really good finishers with the smash one. He can be really annoying too. But the thing is that's kind of Tomoyari. Tomoyari is also annoying, right? It's like an annoying character, yeah. But LeBron James with his ball is annoying, and he can fight you, right? In Tomoyari, I feel a typical character that is only annoying on projectiles. But LeBron James has this ball projectile and this punches you in the face. So he's doing more than that, right? I think he's worse to fight in that sense. You know, a really good LeBron James than Tomoyari. Harder to punish him too, right? Much harder to punish him. So there's probably something like that, yeah, something like that. And Ricky Moore still. Iron Giant is hard, man. He's super annoying. He does some good stuff. I probably put him in like the B. I think one thing that Iron Giant is better than Tom and Jerry. He makes a high damage. He's probably like here, honestly, because I think that Iron. No, actually, I'm putting him freaking here. I'm thinking about it. I mean, I'm alright. So Iron Giant has pretty good DPS. He does some annoying stuff and so on, but he's so vulnerable. So he's probably even C tier. I'm gonna just put him down in the trash here because Iron Giant is massive, right? So Stephen, I played out Superman. He's so easy to own him because you can always just grab him, man. Yeah, he's so big, he can't avoid anything. So seriously, I put him he's like Sentinel here, man. He's like Sentinel but weak, yeah. If you ever played most Capcom, he's like the Sentinel level. Still probably better than Civlization and Taz, but he's, yeah, the more I think about it, the less I like playing, because his hitbox, right? Or hurtbox, I guess, rather than his body is so massive. So everything you do, he can't avoid them. He's so bad at avoiding anything. He's obviously kind of a big guy, doesn't fly out that easily anyway. But he can almost avoid nothing, right? And there are certain stuff, like I mentioned, Superman's flying grab. He can't avoid that. Like, it's super crazy, but he's so tall that you swoop in, right? You get him almost like every time. And normal characters can kind of go under you with dodge you. So instead of flying just slightly over the ground, right, you can kind of fly up here and grab him, and that makes it, of course, for him incredibly hard to avoid certain things, right? Most of the Superman. But so he got some really, really terrible matchups. Most of us talking about, but yeah, but all the stuff too. So I feel he's like, nah, his damage isn't amazing. He's like one of those characters, like a big target, yeah. And the thing is that he's not tankier than Superman, right? Because if he was like an auto fighting game character, something like an Abigail or whatever, right? Like Street Fighter or something. Jake is in the bottom, man. Yeah, Jake is the last. You come into the perfect moment here. Jake is the last thing here. But like Iron Giant is super weak, I think. He's probably he's the easiest character to kill probably in the game. But yeah, we would put Jake is probably in one of those tricky characters. I probably put him in like low A tier. I put him probably up here. So Jake is weird, right? He has this very annoying I don't recall it when he gets stretched, right? Super hard to punch at it, and he has the the Kirby turning into a rock thing and so on. But he has good kite, right? He has good moves. You can avoid easily. He got some really good angles, basically, right? Good engagement angles, which makes him pretty powerful. But I think he lacks though. He lacks the finishers, right? These characters. He lacks because that's really what I was thinking about Finn. And also they have this really, really good actual like unplaying smash now. Can just punch you out and go to the corner. And I think he can't get you in the corner and punch you out, right? He can't really do that. Something like that. This is the first angle I have coming here. Bugs Bunny. But okay, we are looking at it again. Okay, this is kind of the first field, right? Okay, so Bugs Bunny, I keep saying he's by far the best character. I think he's unquestionably the best character in the game. He can just do everything. Okay, he's like the hardest character to kill after Superman. Superman is super tanky, but Bugs Bunny is super avoidable. His evasion, he can go on the ground and everything. So hard to kill him, and he has the best projectiles in the game, and they're hard to avoid. They can trick you and summon stuff. And for that matter, almost our main Bugs Bunny, right? I have tips here. You should have the heart. Lasting love, whatever it's called, is by far the best perk for Bugs Bunny, right? So you can upgrade his heart. So his charming kiss stays in the midair. Then you have a trapper. Then you can probably summon a little trap box. That one is super good. So some character, when they get their ultimate perk or whatever you call it, they get so much better at it. Bugs Bunny is arguably has the best ultimate perk in the game because his hearting is pretty useless, and then when you get like his let's call it like the stun heart for everything, the heart is just insanely OP instead, right? I think Finn is slightly weaker than Harley Quinn, right? I think Harley Quinn does the same thing but has a better evasion. So but Finn is definitely. I think it's Finn and Arya I talked about earlier. Is that they're definitely up there. All three of them, like Harley Quinn, Finn, and Arya, they all have the best finishers. These characters together have super annoying finishers, where, like I said, when you play against like a good Smash player, right, or a good fighting game player, you really feel like they're playing a fighting game when they play some type of Finn, because they go after you and they try to kill you and they really try to aim at you. And yeah, Finn has probably the best. Like when you're trying to climb up finisher or whatever, like you try to hang on the side and jump up, he probably has the best finisher on that. But still have to get you there. Right? I think Harley Quinn is slightly better at that. And Velma then, talked about Velma earlier. Yeah, I feel Velma is an amazing type, but just the thing that she has the car thing. Just more thing about it, right? I mentioned earlier, but I think Velma is gonna, she says an S tier for me because. You said Velma has this like summoning this cop car, and that's like an insta kill almost always. That's just insane, yeah. Think that Velma is the best kind of like after Bugs Bunny that is on tier. Right? Velma is the best projectile user. And then she has this like, I summon a cop car and you die immediately. It's just crazy. like Velma has this like absurd ability to just be like. If you're 3-3, right, you have one more score to win, and then she summons the cop car, and you insta losing that, you're like, oh yeah, fun, right? So that is OP, man. Like that thing is just crazy good. That to me is pushes her over one extra rank, right? That's why I put her in S tier. That freaking police car thing. Then she has very annoying home and stuff and so on. But yeah, I think maybe like this, but I think that Batman is slightly better because Batman has just all the. Batman, yeah, I mentioned earlier, Batman is good at everything. Batman is the best all-round character. He can do everything. Best combos are Superman hard to kill. Superman is the hardest character to kill in the game. Shaggy is like maybe number 2 or 3 after Bugs, maybe, yeah. Lebron is a good finisher. Jacob does weird angles and so on, or angles attacks and so on. Tom Jerry feels like a weak Bugs Bunny, right? The only two mage characters. Yeah, I know you want to buff Tom and Jerry, man. I told you, man. So here comes. This is my one of my allies to speak, my teammate. Yeah, I don't know why you wanna main Tom and Jerry, man. It's just like I would rate Tom and Jerry very low. It's so vulnerable. Like, why don't you play Velma instead? You can do the exact same thing but better. Raindog and Tom and Jerry are super similar though. They're always the same character. You stand in the corner and you throw stuff. You stand in the corner and you're like, I'm just gonna throw stuff at you, right? You're gonna throw stuff at you. Yeah, you're gonna throw stuff at you. But they're probably similar. I think it's accurate. I think Wonder Woman is. I don't know, man. Tom and Jerry might be cool, but is it? Well, I would definitely main Finn if I was gonna pick either between Jake or Finn, because Finn you can actually really do some cool combos and finish people off with. I definitely recommend maining Finn. Like, Finn is one of the best finishers, right? Again, I think that what Finn really excels at is killing people with very low, so to speak, low damage, right? You can actually kill them with like 20-30 life points, which really makes Finn interesting, right? But now I'm in the bottom tier here. I just look at the bottom again. I'm just like. I want to put something in trash, you know. Like, why did I put a trash? Honestly, I feel Taz is really bad though. Like, I feel Taz is really bad since they nerfed him, right? They fixed kind of they made double Taz so OP. I just feel like Taz doesn't do much, you know. Like, he just kind of runs around and is like annoying, but it doesn't really like. I just feel like he's like a half damage tank bruiser guy. But it's like you can play Superman instead, right? You can play Finn probably get nerfed. I think so, yeah. I think Finn get nerfed. Bugs Bunny should get nerfed, but. Finn probably gets nerfed. Harley probably get nerfed. I think they're gonna buff Stevie Universe. That's probably what I see the most. I kind of want to put Taz in like trash tier. You used to have one character in trash tier. but seriously, it is a very typical right game development thing, right? You take a character like Taz, and people are playing double Taz, right? And it's super OP. So they're like, okay, let's nerf Taz. Okay, let's remove that thing, right? And now he's trash because like now he's unplayable, right? That I think it honestly, this is just how it goes, right? They nerf a character in the beta, and suddenly the character is like, who's gonna play this character now? It just feels a very, very classic video game development. You're like, the first week was like, oh my god, Taz is the best character ever, and I was like, okay, now he's who will play him now, man? I think this is so common, right? But yeah, I think this list is probably the most accurate. This is the it man. I got one character in Bugs Bunny tier, one character in trash, yeah, and it's Bugs Bunny's pet, man. It's perfect. But if I quickly go over it again, right? We can quickly go over who I think is gonna get nerfed or buffed. Then it could be pretty fun. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about quickly who I think should get buffed or nerfed. I think that Bugs Bunny isn't gonna get nerfed, honestly. So I'm gonna keep playing Bugs. No, but seriously, because this is what I imagine, right? Bugs Bunny, or again, I keep saying he's the best character easily. But Bugs Bunny is really weird to play, right? You have to summon this shit and summon this thing and that thing, right? So the thing is that as a developer, so I worked a lot of games, right? They have all the data, right? So Bugs Bunny probably has a pretty bad win ratio because people can't play him. This is how it is, right? People are like, they don't do it correctly. So Bugs Bunny probably has a pretty low win ratio at casual level, right? So they're probably not gonna nerf him because, yeah, Bugs Bunny is like, how do I win with him, right? So Bugs Bunny, I would guess, won't get nerfed because, yeah, people can't play him, right? So that's gonna be fine. Harley Quinn might get nerfed, but it's pretty hard to play too because she's pretty weak and very easy to die with. I mean, arguably, Harley Quinn is very easy to avoid stuff with, right? But if you play her more, directly, you have to be very sneaky and agile, right? But if you don't play it like that, she's gonna die a lot, right? So she might not get nerfed, but if you are good playing the agile stuff, that is the best character, right? If you're very, very quick, right? So maybe she's gonna get nerfed, right? Velma probably gets nerfed. They're probably gonna, I think so, with the cop thing. The cop car thing is so good, and her weird homing speech thing can be so good. I think she might get nerfed. Batman probably won't get nerfed because he's like not the best at anything, but he's good at everything, so he probably won't get nerfed. He's very all round. Finn probably gets nerfed, yeah, as I mentioned. He has the best finisher in some context, and it's kind of weird how like the electric thing can just almost kill you in a lot of situations. Yeah, Finn is like really weird, and his the backspin thing, right? Kind of like Link in Smash, it's around. Can also kill you at a very low damage in certain areas, like close to the sky and so on, in some combos. So they're probably gonna nerf Finn because yeah, he feels like he has the best enders, right? I don't think they're gonna nerf, similar to Harley Quinn, I don't think they're gonna nerf, or he also feels too vulnerable. Like if you play her incorrectly. I think both these characters are pretty fun to play in a sense, both of them, because if you play them incorrectly, you die immediately, right? They're both very, very vulnerable, and you have to be very quick and jump around, right? They're still very good characters, but again, I think they have a higher skill cap to not die, right? So I think they won't nerf her either in the beginning, because most people probably die too much with her, right? So it probably has like the win rate is probably a little lower than it should be, right? At like pro level, she's very good, but yeah. Superman, I think honestly might get a buff. Like, I think Superman is powerful, but I think he might actually get a buff because Superman is like, I can't die, right? You know what I mean? His ability, I rank him very high because he's so hard to die with. But that's kind of it, right? He's the hardest character. I keep saying it, but Superman is immortal, right? But because of the reason, I don't know, like that's what he's good at, right? He's so hard to kill, but it's like, okay, but he does low damage and so on, yeah. So I can see him getting a buff actually, right? Because he feels weird to play. And you have to think that this is right. Is he fun to play? I like to play him, right? But I think actually a lot of people don't like to play him that much because he does so low damage that I think the people actually are bored playing him, the casuals, right? So he probably doesn't get he probably gets a buff. Shaggy, I think, might get a nerf, honestly. Eventually. He's probably get like a... Probably LeBron James, I think it's very weird to... Yeah, will it buff nerf him? Probably not. Not now. Jake, similarly, was kind of weird, tricky stuff and so on. Jake with all this weird stuff and so on. I think they won't nerf him either. He's also probably safe in the beginning. Okay, Tom and Jerry probably gets a buff. Yeah, I think so. I think they're gonna buff Tom and Jerry. probably I can see Raindog probably gets a buff, like seriously, like he does more damage than ever. Wonder Woman probably gets a buff eventually. She does. I just feel like she doesn't do much right now, right? Kinda hard to kill, kinda blocks some stuff, right? Garnet probably gets a buff because she's just like a tank that does something. She's probably the wrong class, right? She's a bruiser, but she's much more tanky. Yeah, she probably gets a buff. I think that they're definitely gonna buff these guys, absolutely. So I mentioned earlier, he's the biggest walking target ever, right? He's probably get a buff. Stevie Universe needs to get a buff because I played him so much yesterday, and I like playing him, but he's just like, I don't end with say Stevie Universe, but Stevie Universe's character is just, man, he's weird to play, guys, right? Because he shields. I will say this thing. Arguably, Stevie Universe is the worst designed character too, because when you play Steven Universe, it's really annoying that they can use the platforms. I think one thing I would really like with Steven Universe is that they couldn't land on my platform. Something like that, because it feels weird that sometimes it's really good that you block with the platform, right? So the 4 platform, the platform that it blocks your, I'll say it, the vertical platform, that obviously should be like a block for them, so you can bounce them with that one. But the platform that creates a horizontal platform, you know, that kind of platform, right? That just kind of helps your enemies too, right? And I think that platform should probably last forever. Oh shit, Spider-Man, come on, he's angry because Marvel can't make good games anymore. But yeah, like, it's just weird with Steven Universe. You feel that one of the platforms should last forever. It shouldn't have a cooldown or like a timer to the way. And the platform that you can stand on probably shouldn't like be by the enemies or something. I don't know. Maybe it'd be better if the enemies couldn't like shoot through the platforms, but they could walk through them or something. It just feels like it's weird. Like it feels like the platforms are sometimes helping the enemies, and that's an issue with him, right? And they last not long enough. So it's just weird to play him, and it's just a weird character to play. And the thing is that you dodge. Then you get this bubble around you, and it shares with you and your allies. So it probably should have a higher count or something. It's just a weird character to play. It feels like I said earlier, he's very good, I think, with tanks like Superman. Right? That is very good actually, but he's almost useless with like a practical character like Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry. So that makes it harder for them to play, right? So yeah, like most of the time. He's like a disadvantage, right? Some of his abilities for your teammates. Even if you play him correctly, it's like not that good, right? Because, well, there is one matchup I see with Steve Universe, though, right? So say you have 2 bugs, right? 1 per team. So you have bugs and bugs. So you like bugs plus Steven Universe versus their bugs or whatever, or Tom and Jerry or so on. Then it's good. You can block their projectiles and send your projectiles. You can have some kind of projectile war or something, right? And you block parts of your projectiles, something like that. But he's very weird to play him, and you feel like you don't do much. And his summoning. That being said, though, I think he's actually pretty good in 1 against 1. I played him for maybe like 3 hours yesterday in 1 against 1, and I won almost every game. Because that is actually kind of annoying, because you can summon your watermelon Steven Universe, right? I'm a spoiler. It's very good. I think I love the show. So you can summon this like watermelon Steven, right? That heals you. So it's actually pretty good in 1 against 1, because you can keep healing yourself, and your clone can fight for you. And it's kind of annoying to actually defeat him in 1 against 1. We have to play him very, reserve and like, heal, avoid, block, heal. So the game takes forever, right? You know what I mean? The game takes forever. But if you just want to rank up, if the game had actual ranking, right? Then I think he actually would be pretty high rank to play, because it's hard to kill him, man. Like, he's a good defensive player. Then it can be really annoying to actually win in 1 against 1, yeah, because he just keeps healing himself and just run away and so on. But what I could see with Stevie Universe is that they probably would buff his heal. If there's one thing I would do very easily, I would give his healing ticket like double the health rate, right? If he healed twice as fast, especially in 2 against 2, that would be very useful. So something like that is probably what I can see with him the easiest, right? You make the heal stronger, so you can heal your allies in the fight or whatever, much easier. Something like that, right? But you have to stand in his healing circle, and that is way too risky, right? In a 2 against 2, to stand it too long. So usually you only get like maybe 1 or 2 ticks, right? So yeah, that thing should probably be easier. Or maybe when you stand in his healing circle, maybe it shouldn't be a health reg. It should just be a tick, right? So you go into the circle and you get like 10 life backs, once per circle. That might be what he needs, something like that. So I think that's probably what they would do in Prophet Healing. And then last, Taz is just like the nerf team, so he's like unplayable now. But I don't know, I just feel like, why would you play Taz when you can play, I think he is trash because he does nothing better than like Garnet does, right? Just run in the middle and punch people and hard to kill. Garnet is better passive, better Wonder Woman, same time, also better, punching them, better supporting things. Superman, much better, right? Lebron James also much better than. So it's like, why would you ever play Taz, honestly? After the nerf team, why would you ever play him when all the other kind of bruiser tank guys does that, what he does better, right? Like, there's no real point playing him, like seriously. Like, I honestly don't know any character. I don't think I know any character that I would say rather has Taz in their team than any other bruiser tank, right? Like, seriously. Or Jake as well, yeah. Like, who, all the bruiser tank characters, all of them does what Taz does what better. Like, straight up. He doesn't have any purpose. And if you want to have like a projectile character, obviously you don't have Taz, right? So yeah, I don't know. And he's definitely weaker than Finn and Harley Quinn and stuff. The assassin characters are much better than Taz. They actually just kill people. But I think you can start with like Finn, right? But Jake is like mid tier, I think I put Jake as like mid tier. He's kind of tricky and so on. I think Harley Quinn, right, as I mentioned earlier, is probably. I think Harley Quinn is probably the coolest character when you play correctly. If you wanna be like actual, like, I'm gonna play a game top tier, Harley Quinn I think has the coolest combos on, or Batman if you wanna actually play like topping, if you care about that, right? But otherwise, I keep saying it, but you could play Bugsman if you wanna play a top tier character. They probably won't nerf. but seriously, I said earlier, but if you wanna play a character and you only care about like this is a top tier. Bugs is your go-to, right? Because Bugs is not gonna. I have such a hard time seeing Bugs getting nerfed. Because seriously, I just think that Bugs on a casual level is gonna have really low win rate. I mean, compare like 50 whatever. But Bugs won't like stick out in some kind of leaderboards, right? From like an actual casual standpoint. So they probably won't ever nerf Bugs. At least not right now, because he's like a kind of radical chaotic character, right? Shaggy is cool, man. And if you combine, as I mentioned earlier, I think Shaggy and Superman, that's one of the best combos. I would say this thing here, right? I would say this thing here that I haven't mentioned so much. But I think that one thing, but it will take much longer to do, right? So, but one thing that actually is much more like useful thing about some aspects is to make a tier list and think if in team, right? And I don't mean, but you actually should have done, right? But it's a very, very long video. And much harder to explain, right? But it's actually taking every team up, right? You know what I mean? Like Bugs plus Superman, Bugs plus Harley, right? And then look at every like team up, and in that way about characters. That's actually the most accurate way to look at the game, right? Like what characters are actually good together. But I guess what you could have done, now I might do it in another stream, is that you take the top combos, let's say like the top 3 best combos of Steven Universe in the list or whatever, something like that, right? Because in the end of the day, right, if you play Finn, and Finn is a good character, but, if they nerf him or whatever, he might still be really good with that team and so on. So it's a little bit like, to some aspect, right, you have to think about, but is my character OP combined with this character? Or is my character OP single-handed, right? And that's true with Finn, though. Finn probably gets nerfed because, Finn is good in every team. Finn is a very good character. And one thing that I saw a lot yesterday, and even Saturday too, but especially yesterday, is double Finn, right? Yeah, Finn is very popular. You see like 2 Finns all the time. I think I faced, if there's any character I faced when there were 2 of them this week, it's Finn, right? I've seen double Bugs, it's pretty, sometimes 2. Double like Shaggy, sometimes so on. But double Finn by far is the most popular. Yeah, 2 Finns are very, very popular and do high damage and all right. So yeah, I definitely can see that Finn's getting nerfed, man. Isn't that alone that I think that, like I said, looking at from a double standpoint, he's the only character I've seen people actually play a double as, right? More or less from like an actual, consistency. The older feels like very, very like randomly to play doubles or whatever. So yeah, so that thing is very true though. Just that you have double Finn all the time is probably super common, right? But yeah, we play Tom and Jerry and Bugs though. But it's a good combo too though. Like Bugs Bunny again, I think the best character. Before I keep saying that, right? So Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry is a good combo because you have so much projectiles. So you have so many projectiles, man. But I just think that in this game though, most like double projectile spammer actually works very well because like the window as I call it in fighting games. So if you play like Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Velma, and Raindog, right? Like these characters together actually work pretty well together because it's hard to punish character that shoots at this game, right? Harder than compared to example, whatever, Blast Blue, Guilty Gear, Smash, Street Fighter, whatever, right there. Especially Dragon Ball Fighters. It's harder in this game to punish the projectile spammers. So if you have those. But yeah, Bugs is hardest character to play too. Bugs is like, I think it's funny. I said you missed the early stream. But yeah, Bugs is the hardest character to play and the best character to play. So, but that's what I'm like. I'm a Bug main, man. I'm a Bug main. But that's what I keep saying, right? That I don't think Bugs will get nerfed because no one can play him, right? Like people suck with Bugs. Like I face people all the time, and I'm like, why isn't there summoning you say it? This thing's the one. Because I was saying that when I play Bugs, right? My cooldowns are always on cooldown. I spam everything all the time, you know. Like it's like you should never play Bugs and not have like, he has 5 cooldowns. They should all be on you all the time, right? And most Bugs that I face, they have like maybe 2 or 3 cooldowns. They should all 5 basically, all the time, right? And you have to use and example, you can summon the rocket, be in the rocket, and pick up his tools on the rocket and so on, and throw dynamite and so on. So he can all tricks, right? He can all tricks. So if Bug goes down in the ground or crunches. When he crouches, he can pick up random weapons from his Acme toolbox, right? So, for example, if you're on the rocket, you can toolbox on the rocket to get the dynamite, for example. So, there's a lot of this weird thing with Bugs, right? And if you throw a pie into the hole, the pie flows very slowly in a vertical line. So they can't avoid it. So, Bugs got all these really weird mix-ups, right? But that's why he's like a top-tier character. Except I played a lot of Guilty Gear, right? And he feels like Satoichi or something. Yeah, you have all this like weird from the behind this thing, and I summon in your you know, it's like what's happening, right? So he's very very hard to play. But I used to main Venom for a bit in Guilty Gear. If I ever play all Guilty Gear, and he's like a pool player. He plays with the pool boss. So you have a pool queue and you put pool boss anywhere and so on. So yeah, I think that's like. But I think Bugs has the highest potential too. I think Bugs has the highest potential as well, right? Because like I play Bugs for like maybe 15 hours now or something, and I still feel like I'm still coming up with new Bug strategies. Like seriously, Bugs. I still think it's Bugs because the more you play Bugs, the more you realize what if I do a hole in this thing and then I teleport my pie in this angle or whatever. I still think it is Bugs even after all the nerfs because I don't think they are nerfed. And even if he gets nerfed slightly, they probably won't nerf his actual toolkit. They're gonna nerf his damage, right? If anything, they're just gonna nerf his damage values. They won't nerf his actual abilities. So I think that Bugs is the best character or a potential because if you have his perks, so the heart stays in the air, you can do like a tunneling to the heart to the pie, and he has like all this weird shit you can do, right? So even if I played him almost only, I feel like 10, 15 hours, I don't know. I played Bugs for so many hours. I still feel like I can still grow with Bugs, right? It's like he has so much potential. Where some of the other characters, I feel like I played him for like 1-2 hours, and I feel like I probably can't get much better. like you play Superman, you kind of like this is how he works. He's a big guy, he flies, and you kind of like I kind of Superman. Yeah, like Superman I played maybe for like 4 or 5 hours. I don't feel I'm that much better with him after the first hour, right? Like honestly, like he has his potential is like I can't die, right? I think that Finn probably won't still be top tier. I don't think so. I think they're gonna nerf Finn a lot, and he probably will lose a lot of his damage. If they nerf him, he probably won't be top tier, because he has so many good finishers. But the thing is that Finn. Okay, so that's the thing. What is Finn's weakness then? He has like no utility. That's the weakness, right? He doesn't do much for his teammate. What Finn does is he's a good finisher, right? More or less. He does high damage too, but it's more a finisher, not the same thing. But Harley Quinn, she does really high damage, and she's a good finisher. So Harley Quinn is better, trust me. She is definitely better, because you can do both finisher and high damage, right? Finn has like medium to high damage. She has like higher damage, okay? and they're both good finishers. So she definitely tough starting, but also Harley Quinn can put out a trap on the game. She can put out this balloon trap. That's annoying for the enemies, and she got better evasion, right? She got much better evasion than Finn. So, like, if I compare them, I think easily Harley Quinn is a much better character, honestly, right? Like, Harley Quinn, I will always put it at Bugs level, because he's the best character if you want to play like a typical fighting game, right? She's the fighting game character, right? And that's kind of why, you know, if they nerf Finn, right? If they nerf Finn's damage, I don't see why you wouldn't rather play the other DPS character that has, like Batman or Harley Quinn. They can DPS and they can also help the teammates, because Batman can throw his smoke, right, and do good combos and so on. So why don't you rather play Batman, right? That's kind of how you think about it. I don't think that Jake could ever be like a top tier character. I don't think so. Jake is a character that is kind of weird. He got weird attack angles. I don't think they're gonna buff or nerf Jake. He's just a weird character with a lot of he's what's called short combo speed. He has these like weird entrance attacks. I don't see Jake as ever being like top tier, probably. I don't know. I mean, they might buff him, I guess, and then he's probably top tier. But he's very in the middle. I think this is very accurate, honestly. I think generally is very accurate where he's like very in the middle. He's like not the best character, not the worst character. I think it's very accurate. He's like in that kind of like middle part of like, this is a character that's like, he's always pretty good. But Jake also lacks utility though. Yeah, Jake lacks utility. I think you have to think about this game. I want to point out here, right, that this game is, I look at it mostly from a 2 against 2, right? Because I think that's where the game is really fun to play. They have developed the game more so in a team fight, right? You have support class and so on. And you have to think, who is the best character in a team battle, right? And I don't want to have Jake on my team because I'd rather have Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn has good damage, good finishers, and she has these weird traps or whatever, right? So Harley Quinn helps me more as a teammate because she does damage and she can throw out some stuff and so on, right? So it's kind of like, but I think, so that's why, you know, a character that can't, yeah, but they both have this like toolkit, you know, that's like, this is better. Like, they're both all around characters. Harley Quinn and Batman, yeah, they're both like, they're both a good example of a DPS character that can also help your teammate, right? And that's kind of what you want in this game, right? Where, yeah, I think that's the issue with Jake. Like, Jake and Finn are both actually pretty bad for the teammates. They both do like damage, right? But they don't really help the teammates, except fighting. They don't have any support teams, right? Yeah. I just think that in the end of I think like Shaggy, for example, he's good for a teammate. He can heal them, he can give them enrage, he can do stuff for a teammate. So if I compare Shaggy and Jake, right, they both kind of have a similar spot as like a fighter, but then Shaggy also has more supportive stuff to some extent, right? So he's better, right? You know, so I think that's kind of how you think about it. And the reason why character like Steve Universe is pretty bad and almost trash level character is because he's full support, so he should be really good for this team game, but because his support is very lacking, right? It's not good enough. He instead becomes a very weak character, right? So characters like Stevie Universe, Raindog and so on, but his support isn't strong enough, right? They became quite weak, where I feel like Velma is a very good supportive character, more a mage shredder, but you know, she's very, very high tier, right? Because she can be very, very lethal in a 2v2, and you know, so that's more the way I look at it. But I mean, at the end of the day, right, you just play the character you like, right? And if you nerf it, you swap character, right? At the end of the day, you just play the character that you like. I mean, I started playing Bugs Bunny, not because I'm like, oh yeah, I like, no, I actually, I want to be the top dog. I started playing Bugs, right, because I just like, you know, the classic Looney Tunes, right? I was like, this is the character I want to play Bugs Bunny. And I really, really love the modern, when did that air? Like 10 years ago? The Bugs Bunny Looney Tunes show, right? I love the show. So funny. And obviously my favorite character is Daffy, though. Bugs Bunny and Daffy living together. That show was so good. I love that show. So I started playing Bugs because I was like, okay, he's a control character, which I mentioned earlier. I play control characters in all the fighting games, like Extra Low and so on, Dalsim and so on, right? Guile, Dalsim and so on. So I want to play a Predator character, right? A Zoner, and I can play Bugs Bunny, right? So I was like, this is perfect, right? I can play Bugs Bunny, and he happens to be the highest ranked character. And I think more people agree with me on top level is incredibly good. So it happens to just be the character. That's what they're playing, right? But I think at the end of the day, I mean, you can ignore the tier list and just play the character you want to play. Like if you want to play Batman, you can play Batman, right? As I mentioned earlier, I think that the biggest thing for this game, again, looking at it from a team game, right, is not necessarily who you play, but who your partner is, right? Who you're partying with. I think the biggest thing in this game is that you can play any character. You can even play Steven Universe, and as long as your teammate is a good teammate, that's more important, right? I think that's more important. It's not who you play, but it's who they play together, right? Because the game is very, like I mentioned earlier, I think the game in the end is going to be very team dependent, right? And some teams are going to be always be good. So yeah, like as long as your teammate is kind of correctly fitting your role, right? But there's also, like as I mentioned earlier, I took that into consideration, right? That's what I mentioned. Steven Universe is very low rank because he can only be played in a few teams, right? And that's why I rank him very low, because if he could play in any team, obviously I would have him higher, right? But that's it, right? He can only be a good character in certain teams, right? So, but it's gonna be interesting, of course, when they have more characters, right? Let's say we have twice as many characters, then most characters will probably be playable, because then of course you have more potential teammates that have, you know, good combos with your character, right? And that means of course that you can team up with them probably easier, right? But certainly that's gonna be the thing, you know. But yeah, but I mean, you know, if it's your favorite show, right? I would mean that, right? Like my favorite show is kind of classically, yeah, Looney Tunes. And the character I really want to see, and I'll probably make a video about that later, I feel like the character I most want to see is probably like maybe Johnny Bravo or something, and maybe some other Hanna-Barbera shows. I want to see, what's it called? Wacky Racist characters. I want to have my car coming in there, like I can summon my car or something. Yeah, I would love to see. I mean, at the end of the day, right, you're gonna play better if you enjoy playing the character. For me, it's a mixture of like, what character do I enjoy playing from like a, you know, an RP standpoint, right? Or I like Bugs or whatever. Combine that with like the gameplay, right? Or I want to play a Zoner. Okay, I play Bugs Bunny. I don't think Jake does a lot of pressure. I think Jake's easy to avoid most of the time. Because the thing that Jake is, I mean, Jake is like weird, but he's still straightforward. Jake is a character from a visual standpoint. He looks hard to defend, right? Because he kind of comes at you and it's weird thing and he flies and so on, and it becomes the long thing and so on. But when you actually face him, right, it is much harder to like block a Harley Quinn. Because Harley Quinn throws like bombs at you and throws traps at you and teleports behind you and shoots in your back. So like, it's much harder to defend against Harley Quinn, which is just her like weird shit, right? But you're like, what's happening? You know, it's like everything happening at the same time. For example, that's why, I mean, the character is harder to block is probably Harley Quinn, and Steven Universe probably easiest. Steven Universe is very straightforward. Yeah, it's like punch you in the face. Incredibly straightforward, right? Superman is hard to block too if he's very aggressive with the flying thing. Like if he flies into you all the time, he tries to throw you. Shaq can be hard too. Lebron can do some weird stuff too, right? So that's kind of thing with Jake. Jake looks, I think, visually, yeah, hard to read. But when I play him in 1-against-1 a lot, I don't think it's hard to block, because he's kind of like, his actual attacks are still kind of like, he's kind of come like that, to come like that, right, run at you. He can't like throw projectiles, he can't summon stuff at you. For example, I mentioned earlier, but Steven Universe is actually pretty good in 1-against-1, because he can heal himself and he can summon this summoning clone, right? So that's harder to block, right? Harder to kind of read when the clones attack you. It's an AI, of course, so it's harder to understand when that thing will help him and so on. And if you get then the perk that makes it grow bigger, it's stronger. So that's actually pretty tricky, right? Where Jake in 1-against-1 is kind of like, oh, he kind of becomes this thing and so on. But at the end of the day, he's gonna do attacks against you, melee attacks. He's gonna attack you with normals, right, mostly. So you're kind of like, okay, he's gonna go to the side, right? Bugs is probably the hardest character to block. Darryl Harley Quinn, yeah, generally speaking. Bugs is weird, right? But Bugs is like, I tell you to put a rocket behind you. It's like, okay. But I mean, I can conclude the first MultiVersus video, man. Yeah, I mean, you can combo stuff, but the combos are still, my hard drives are an error here, yeah, whatever. Full on my list there. But I mean, the thing is that, but Jake is still just like a melee character, right? You're just gonna have to combo with the melee. It's always gonna be easier in any game. This is not even in this game itself. It's always easier to block or avoid melee attacks, right? A character focuses on melee. It's always gonna be harder blocking a character that can like put traps out, and like Tom and Jerry can be hard to block or attack them, right? Because they can control this thing. He throws Jerry at you. Jerry's in your back, right? Raindog can throw his like fire at you, ship you down, summon this crystal behind you, and then around and so on, and then back and forth, right? Those characters are all gonna be hard to avoid. Steve Universe can do this weird crystal. How I explain it? Steve Universe can create a crystal like line between himself and either his partner or his clone or an area. So if you and your partner, you can then create this like a weird line, and then you shatter the line between them, or at your clone, and they can jump around. And so it's much harder to avoid Steve Universe and Jake, because this weird like crystal line can actually be comboed into, and that's harder to kind of engage with, right? To have to actually block the thing. And in a team battle, you can combine that thing on your partner. They can fly in you like Superman, so they can grab you, and then they can grab you, throw you, and then you can explode the line at the same time, right? So you can do the weird combos. It's like synergy combos, I guess. Yeah, so that's the why Superman is good with Steve Universe, because if he grabs them during the line thing in a perfect timing, you can combo that like a synergy. Jake can't do that stuff, right? I think at the end of the day, these characters that have actual synergies are gonna be the best characters. We can do weird stuff together, right? So kind of combine stuff and combine dramatic, basically. That's gonna be in the end of the day, right? Like, I really tried to make Steve Universe works. I played him for like 5 hours yesterday. I played him the whole day yesterday. I'm gonna make Steve Universe works. And I still put him in like the lowest C tier. But I can see him, if he gets the buffs, he's gonna be a really good character if you buff him a little bit. Because he has a lot of weirdness with him. With some team ups, right? But anyway, guys, hope you like the tier list. I think it's very accurate, guys. This is the true tier list, guys. Anyway, I'm gonna do another video. We are talking about the game mechanics more later, and I would like to do another tier list. We look at like, I would like to do a tier list of like what character I want to see, right? Yeah, Johnny Bravo is my number one, man. Something like that. But I'm having a video explaining why the game mechanics is so good in this game, and the diversity of the characters are good. But yeah, Iron Giant is just like, he has decent damage, but I put Iron Giant in the bottom because he's just like, how to say it? He's a walking target, Iron Giant, I think, is terrible. And he's also, Iron Giant probably is always going to be a terrible character. He's the character that can't avoid anything. He's so big, he's so massive. Iron Giant, I think, as a character, is going to stay terrible because, yeah, he's just so big. He's like twice the size of the other character, right? You can't avoid anything with him. So I definitely would say Iron Giant is really, really bottom tier. He's almost trash tier. He does much more damage and utility than the other character as Taz and Steven, but he's like, man, the typical character that looks cool. I like it, right, from a game design standpoint, that they kept him being massive and so on. But from an actual gameplay standpoint, he's just really weak, man. Yeah, of course, they might buff him tremendously, right? They might double his damage, and then his OP or whatever. But just as he is now, he's gonna need like 2-3 buffs to be good, and it probably won't be enough, right? Because he's always gonna be so weak as everything. He's always gonna be owned by weird stuff that he should be able to avoid and cancel on. But honestly, he's like twice the height, right? So he's so easy to hit him with everything. He's always gonna get punished for that, right? So he needs to have like tremendously damage boost or have way more health, right? Like his defense points after he has to be like twice something. That could be the other thing. He could be super tanky, right? He needs to have like 300 points flat. But the thing is that at the end of the day, that probably won't happen, because then people all think it's boring, right? You can't just make a character be absurdly tanky. It's boring for the actual casual player. So they probably won't buff him and give him like twice life points, because it's really boring. So he probably gets more damage output, I imagine, eventually. But I think he's gonna be bottom tier character. Taz could be best character, right, next bit. Taz, he could buff and he could be much better. Steven can buff, so on. I think honestly that, yeah, Iron Giant is gonna stay in like bottom tier for always, right? Unless they buff him insanely much, because his hitbox, his hurtbox is so big, right? It's terrible. Some matchups for him are so bad. Like it's like, holy shit. It's kinda, I guess it's the last thing I say here, but if you ever played Blast Blue, he reminds me of Iron Tiger in Blast Blue. So in Blast Blue you have this character, I can show you very briefly here before I turn off the list. No problem, man. I liked it. I'm gonna put on. I should show you an example here of Blast Blue. This is an example here. Blast Blue, Iron Tiger. So you have this character in, or Potemkin, I guess. But I think Iron Tiger more so, especially in the second version of the game. Here it is. It's double Iron Tiger. It's a good example. Actually, no. Take an example with the character. There's one thing. Well, here we go. Why am I only getting like fake stuff? I'm just gonna get one image here of goddamn Iron Tiger, man. Okay, VS over 3 maybe? Jesus Christ, I get so much weird fake images. I get the wrong character, holy shit, I hate this stuff. I hate Googling, man. Why are you doing this with Google? Give me the correct image of the character. I'm trying to get like a good image of this like absurd, trying to get this absurd, muscle big character in Guilty Gear or Blast Blue that covers the whole screen. Here we go. Potemkin in the latest game. He's pretty good though, but so if you haven't played Guilty Gear or Blast Blue, you have this character, right? That is called Potemkin in Guilty Gear and Iron Tiger in Blast Blue. And this character is basically as big as the screen, right? This character is like the height of the screen, and his muscles are like half the body, right? Like he half the width, of the screen, right? And this character is pretty good though. Like he has insane health points, right? He hits absurdly high, right? So they're both like absurdly tanky, of course, and so on. However, just like with Arya, right? It's so easy to punish them because they're like big as the whole game, right? Yeah. And Iron Tiger in Blast Blue especially, he was just terrible. So Potemkin has been, I guess, high ranked sometimes, but especially second Blast Blue or whatever, 1.5 whatever. Iron Tiger was so bad that he was like the other character had like a tier list point system, right? And it was like, I think one had the highest was 1/600. He hit 800. So he was like bad matchup in every matchup with Iron Tiger. He was the worst character against every other character for like 2 years after that game. Because he was so big, right? So massive. And yes, you have 3 times the life points. And you have double, the damage, whatever. But everyone used to just kill you before you get to them. Yeah, like every character could just ship you down with projectiles until you did anything. Right? Like it was like impossible to play him. He was the worst character by like a large margin in that game. And then they buffed him like 10 times and still was a bad character. Potemkin is better though. He's much better than Iron Tiger in most of the games. But like, that's how Iron Giant feels like. He's a character that is so big and he's so vulnerable, and you're like, he doesn't really have the stats, he doesn't have the life points, doesn't have the damage output, right, to kind of balance that. He doesn't really get balanced out by his method. Sorry for the chat, man. I added the image. Here we go. But yeah, it was like the list, guys. And if you're interested in our list, well, that's what you see from this game. I'm thinking of doing, as I mentioned, the team list, right? Be interesting. But the thing, if it's too much time, right? I don't know to do the ranking every team or something. But anyway, guys, please press the like button and see you guys. Today is no new animes. Yeah, it's kind of typical. Monday, Tuesday for me is no new animes, right? Maybe One Piece. Okay, we might do a One Piece video if they have the spoilers. Yeah, spoiler One Piece video might be out today if it comes today tomorrow.